All right, good morning, everybody. We're live again, broadcasting to tax professionals specifically. That's who we're talking to in these videos, and I just want to take a second to let anybody that's watching live jump on here. And before we get into today, why California tax professionals are actually not going to be nearly as impacted by this new Tax Reform and Simplification Act than tax professionals in other states. And so let me kind of explain how that is and why that is. And I want to give credit to one of our Pronto Tax School members, Vicki Adams, based out of Southern California. Her website is called planvicky.com. She's a certified financial planner, and she sent back an email to one of my emails when I was talking about how, tax professionals are facing so many challenges with this new tax simplification. And she made a really great point of California tax law is not going to conform to the federal tax changes. Okay, and I had thought of that, but I didn't realize actually how important that was until Vicki pointed it out to me. And so let's imagine the client that we're talking about losing, potentially losing with this new Tax Reform and Simplification Act, right, is a homeowner, so someone who's itemizing deductions, and then when they double the standard deduction, that client doesn't have any need to itemize deductions, right, on Schedule A. But the plan, the point that Vicki was making, which is a great one for you to consider if you're a California tax preparer, is California is not going to double their standard deduction, right? So, and it probably also will not conform with a number of other changes that would be made to the federal tax law. So let's think of a real client. So you have a client that has a, say a $700,000 mortgage or a $600,000 mortgage, or maybe $300,000. Maybe that client won't benefit from itemizing deductions on the federal tax return, but they will benefit on the state tax return. In California, as you guys know, we have a pretty high marginal tax rate. So a high marginal tax rate means that for the client means that every deduction matters quite a bit. So in California, we'll get to the 9% marginal rate pretty quickly, right? You don't need that much income to get that point. So that means if you have that $10,000 deduction, that client's going to save, say, $900, and that's easily more than your fee as a tax professional. So if you're in California, in addition to just hoping you guys are all safe and everything like that in these fires, is that's a little bit of good news for you. If you're sitting there and you're worried, like, how would this new tax reform and simplification impact me? Just by being in a state that is not known for conforming in a number of different ways, but especially when it comes to taxes, California is not exactly going to jump on any tax law reform and simplification that the federal side makes and say, okay, yeah, we're going to do all the same stuff as that. So there's still going to be a lot of differences between the federal law and the California law. And anytime there are those differences, and especially considering the high tax rate for California, those differences and that complexity and the value of deductions, that's where you guys excel. That's where you make a difference for your clients. So if you are a California tax professional, I want to kind of give you that good news of this thing, if and when it passes, is not going to hit you nearly as hard as it would in other states. So thanks, Vicki Adams, again for pointing that out to me, kind of making me think about that. I wanted to share that with you guys. And again, if you have referrals for a great CFP, Vicki Adams, just a super sharp lady, always has something positive to say. And remember, even with that kind of stuff, like if you email us back and like Vicki said, actually, Andy, you're wrong about this, and this is why. And she kind of concluded her email by saying, keep up the good work. So remember, it's just a dialogue, right? So if you make any comments on this video, I don't agree with this, I do agree with this. This is just to get a dialogue going, you guys, to make everybody better. So it's not about we have to be right and everything that we're saying is coming, it can't be wrong. It's about starting a dialogue for us all to get sharper, get better, and get ready to dominate this tax season. I'm really starting to think that this upcoming tax season might be the busiest one ever, even despite all of the simplification that they're supposedly doing. So I'm kind of getting optimistic about it. and trying to make content for you guys daily, like we've been talking about, to get you feeling like you're in the best position to take advantage of this tax season and beyond. So hopefully this video is helping you do that, especially if you're in California. So stay safe, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.